Hello and welcome to the American Sim Racing Championship VSPEED Challenge, round number 7 from Oxford Plains tonight. This is the Oxford 100, and it's going to be a good race here tonight. We've got 11 drivers to take a time in the practice session so far. We'll bring up the scoreboard to see where everybody stacks up in the hot lap session. So we are past the midpoint of the season now, and we're actually going to go over the points as they stand coming into tonight's race. Jamie Christensen currently sits on top of the standings, but not by much. AJ Hamill right there in his tracks, and AJ has not captured a win yet this season, but he's finished second, I believe, 2 weeks in a row and 3 out of the last 4 races. And he has led the most laps of anyone so far this season. Just needs to close out those last handful of laps and capture a victory here. Chris Stump coming in on back-to-back victories, looking for 3 in a row tonight. He's got 3 already on the season out of the 6 races, so he's been very fast, but missed a race, so that puts him back a handful of points. Stephen Parks comes in 4th position, and Josh Bonwell rounds out the top 5 in points, and those drivers still well in contention for the end of the season. Justin McDuff comes in here in 6th place, Chris Smart 7th, Austin Thiel 8th, Andreas Lambert 9th, and Justin Huber rounds out the top 10 in points coming into round number 7 tonight. And this is going to be an interesting race. It's a 3/8 of a mile oval here in Maine, and definitely an interesting track. There aren't really a whole lot of visual markers for these drivers to stick to getting in or out of the corner, so it's hard to stay consistent, and there's that curb also down on the inside line. We're going to go on board here with Chris Samard as he makes his way around the track, but there's that curb down to the inside of the racing surface, and if you catch that, it can cause damage to the car and really unsettle it as well. So as you can see Chris, as he gets up a little bit out of the groove, it's just so hard to get the car to rotate if you miss your entry point. So it should be an exciting race, and like always here in the American Sim Racing Championship VSPEED Challenge, they will not be qualifying, but rather start inverted from the finishing order of the previous race. So it should be interesting to see some of those fast guys, including Chris Stump, who is probably the favorite coming into tonight's event, have to come from the back of the pack. And there won't be any tire changes here tonight. These guys go the entire way on one set of tires, but they do have 100% fuel, so they might be able to make it the entire race without pitting. So should be an interesting one. As we are getting ready to grid up, let's see where everybody is starting. Let's go to the grid. Scott Yost going to be rolling off in first. Second place, starting on the grid here tonight, is Stephen Parks. Comes in the top 5 in points. So let's see if he can get a solid finish here. Let's see. Second row is going to be Chris Samard rolling off in 3rd. Jamie Christensen, your points leader, rolling off in 4th. Austin Thiel starting in 5th with Justin McDuff, who's outside, in 6th. AJ Hamill rolling off in 7th. And Chris Stump rolling off in 8th. Stephen Page going to be starting in 9th, and Mitchell Rounds rounding out the top 10. Andy Lambert going to be rolling off in 11th, and Josh Bonwell starting in 12th position. Some of these fast guys towards the middle or rear of the field should be an interesting battle for them to get up towards the front. We're waiting for pace truck to get moving. It looks like Stephen Parks is not going to be taking the grid here tonight, so we'll have 11 drivers in the field for tonight's race, round number 7 of the VSPEED Challenge. And I believe the pace car is going to take him around one more time. We'll have to just wait and see if he dips it in here. Not look like it. Obviously, tonight's race brought to you by VSPEED, and and VSPEED, the title sponsor of the series here in the American Sim Racing Championship. We are streaming live on Twitch and YouTube right now. And if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, please hit like or subscribe over on YouTube, and follow us on Twitch. If you enjoy the broadcast, you can also follow us on Facebook, where we announce each and every race that we stream live. And pace car making its way around for a second time here, dips it down into pit road. 47 of Scott Yost gets him going. Green flag is out, and the field kind of stacking up as they go down into turn number 1. Jamie Christensen looking to try and capitalize on that and potentially capture the lead, as he is on the outside of the 47 going down into turn 3. Chris Simard sitting there and waiting for that battle to heat up. Austin Thiel, who was fastest in practice, currently 4th position. We're going to bring up our ticker now so you can keep track of your favorite driver. But looks like Yost able to get it under control, and he's out in front now by a few tenths of a second, 4 tenths. The gap between Yost and Christensen. Looks like Stephen Parks showing up in 2nd there on our ticker. That should fix itself here in just a minute. Chris Simard in 3rd position, just in front of Austin Thiel. Justin McDuff making another appearance here in the series in 5th place, and Chris Stump, last week's winner and winner 2 weeks in a row, in 6th position. So he's up a couple spots from where he started. AJ Hamill looking for another strong run here tonight in 7th position. And the battle is on between the 53 of Mitchell Rounds, I believe, making his first start here, along with Andy Lambert. It looks like Rounds way up high, keeps it on track, but it's going to lose that position for the moment. Josh Bonwell rounding out the field, dives to the inside of the 53, able to get position there, and he's going to try and capture as they go down into turns 3 and 4. 53 of Rounds way up the track, going to just surrender that position as Bonwell moves up into the top 10. Out front, it's pretty much all nose to tail. 47 of Yost getting a little bit squirrely coming out of the corner. And we are actually going to try and reload our ticker theme here so that everything works the way it's supposed to. Apologize for the black screen there for just a second as we are loading this up. Scott Yost under pressure from Jamie Christensen, so that battle is not fading away at the front of the pack, and Chris Simard just waiting in their tracks to see if anything happens. And looks like it has not fixed itself completely, but a little bit better. We'll just have to keep you updated according to what our scoring says here. Basically disregard Stephen Parks' position there in 3rd. And right now it looks like Jamie Christensen peeking down to the inside of Scott Yost. This is going to be a battle for the lead. They dive down into turn number 1, and Christensen able to take that position away for the moment. Let's see if he can hold on to it going down into turn 3. And he does. Yost drops to 2nd, Chris Simard in 3rd. Now peaks down a little bit lower, not going to dive it in there just yet, but 47 struggling just a bit, maybe burned up the tires early on in this race. See if he's got anything left in that car to hold off Chris Simard, who's been very fast since he has started running over here and capturing a win at Bristol a few weeks ago. But Austin Thiel is all over his bumper, and definitely, you know, Austin wants to make his way towards the front. One of the most aggressive drivers in the league here, but definitely has speed tonight, which he showed in the practice session. Is Simard now to the inside of Yost, who washes up the track. Here comes Thiel right behind him, almost 3 wide, and Thiel backs out of it. Right on the back bumper of Chris Simard, though. And meanwhile, Jamie Christensen starting to pull away, now up to about 6 tenths over Simard, but he washes up the track, and that's going to cost him a bit of time. Simard trying to reel him back in. Just made up a couple tenths in that corner, so he's got speed as Justin McDuff getting very loose coming out of turn number 4, as he's now catching up to the back bumper of the 47 of Yost. And Scott was one of the fastest drivers in practice, I believe 4th fastest overall, as Austin Thiel all over the back bumper of Chris Simard. We'll see if he gives him the bumper here. And backs off just a touch to get a good run out of turn 2. Simard running a low line on the straightaways to protect that inside line. But that's not going to help his momentum, as now Austin Thiel peeking to the outside, going to try and pull a crossover. Simard charges the corner hard. Here comes Thiel, big run out of turn 2. Nothing he can do with it though, as Mitchell Rounds way back here obviously got into the outside wall at some point, and he is about 2 or 3 seconds in front of your leader. Stephen Page, last driver in the pack here in 10th position, has lost in touch with Josh Bonwell by a little bit. But this should be interesting, as they're going to have to make their way around the 53. It's giving them the inside line, giving them a big lane there to go by. He's running right on the perimeter of the track, out of the way, and he's going to go off course, down the berm into the grass. We'll see if he can collect it and get back on track safely. He does, though. A little bit of an off-road excursion there for the number 53. As Simard doing a good job fending off Austin Thiel, who got loose, but here comes Thiel with a big run in 3 and 4. And the top 3 have broken away from Yost, who's kind of holding up McDuff and Chris Stump. Those Empire Racing Team drivers. As Simard on the curb, it's going to cost him some time. But Austin Thiel not able to take advantage. So we kind of got 3 groups of 3. And then it looks like Stephen Page back here, and then Mitchell Rounds, the only driver 1 lap down at this point, about a quarter of the way through the race. And it looks like McDuff able to get to the inside line on the 47 of Scott Yost and captures that position. And he's bringing his teammate Chris Stump with him. Stump all over the back bumper of the 20, as we see Josh Bonwell peek to the outside of Andy Lambert. And I believe the inside line is really the way to go here. I don't think there's any progressive banking or anything that's going to give you an advantage in the high line. But Scott Yost really dropping. He's currently in 6th position after starting up front on the pole, but not able to keep the speed in that car that I'm sure he'd like to see. Chris Stump trying to make a move on Justin McDuff. We saw him swing out a little bit wide on entry. Not able to make a run at the 20, as Austin Thiel shoves Chris Simard out of the way. Simard drops back in line, probably not too happy with receiving the bumper. And Simard really charging in the corner. He's lost a little bit of rear grip, it looks like. We'll see if he can get back to the 009 and try and regain 2nd position. Jamie Christensen out in front though, doing a great job. He's captured the lead away from Scott Yost and has since maintained a nice gap for 2nd position. Although Austin Thiel, fastest in practice, now has that spot, and you can tell he's like a shark out there. If there's blood in the water and he senses a car that's maybe a little slower, he's going to go for it. McDuff doing a good job holding on to 4th position over Chris Stump. But one little slip up obviously opens up that door and can lead to a lost position. AJ Hamill not really able to make his way forward. He's in the same position he started in. As Christensen up the track, we see Austin Thiel now to the lead. 009 taking advantage of a mistake by Christensen. And the 9 and 009 swap positions. Chris Simard now peeking to the inside of Christensen as they're approaching the lap car of Mitchell Rounds once again. And this is going to put the 53 2 laps down as he rides that perimeter of the track. Hopefully stay on course this time. He's just going to let the whole field by without a problem. Chris Stump still over the back bumper of the 20, and now the whole field pretty much lined up. We don't have those gaps between the little packs of 3 that we saw earlier on, and it's all single file. And I believe it's just going to be waiting for a mistake to open up the door, as Chris Stump really charging the exit of turn 4, trying to get some kind of a run on McDuff. See, it's just so hard to get back in the throttle and get underneath someone. There's not a whole lot of room to the inside of the drivers in front of you. Right along with Chris Stump, back-to-back winner coming into tonight's race, but currently stuck in 5th position, not really able to make any moves on the drivers in front. You can see he swings it out just a little bit wider than Justin McDuff on the exit of the corner, and then really, I think, rides those rear brakes to get it to hook in the center. Catches the curb a little bit right there, but doesn't cost him any time. Now he's losing a little bit of ground to McDuff, maybe trying something different, not currently working for him. As the top 9 all single file, nose to tail right now. Stephen Page in 10th, about 6 seconds back from your leader, and about 3.5 back from Josh Bonwell, all on his own. Mitchell Rounds, the only driver off the lead lap, currently 2 laps down. Austin Thiel starting to stretch away from Christensen, who's under heavy fire from Chris Simard. As Chris Stump rides that curb once again. Got Yost now under fire from AJ Hamill, who's gone to the outside. We'll see if he can make anything happen up there. We haven't seen any passes pulled off. It drops back in line to get behind the 47. So trying not to lose his spot to Andy Lambert is the number 18. Not able to take advantage utilizing that high line. Bonwell now working up on the high line of Andy Lambert, but once again, just not really able to carry the speed up there that you can down on the low line. As Chris Stump works to the outside now, we'll see if he can make anything happen. I think if anyone out here could make a different line work, it would be that number 98 McDonald's machine. As Simard to the inside of Christensen. And that battle for second place over as soon as it started. Simard shuts the door on Christensen. Here comes McDuff, and then I'm sure Chris Stump gonna try and follow him through. Oh, we got contact farther back. That's gonna be Andy Lambert and Josh Bonwell getting together. Lambert riding through the infield there. Get back going, and we saw Mitchell Rounds go off course, I believe, or possibly Stephen Page, but either way, we're gonna jump back to the replay and see what happened. And Andy Lambert was the culprit here, or was the victim, I should say, as Bonwell just touched that right, or that left rear quarter, and spun the 70 around, able to hold on to it and not make any contact with anyone. But definitely not going to be, you know, an opportunity for him. It's just going to be a disadvantage at this point. Puts him at the back of the pack here, 9th position. He has gained a couple spots since the start of the race. Mitchell Round, the only one on off the lead lap, I should say. Stephen Page last on the lead lap, though, in that number 1, 10th position. See the little crinkle there on the front bumper of the 009 after bumping Chris Simard out of the way. And I don't think anyone making the move to pit road get fuel or damage repaired. Possibly the 53. He bypasses the pit road entrance, so probably going to be a short caution as we are just at the halfway point. So if you're tuned in here on VSPEED, either on YouTube or Twitch, comment down below who you think is going to win tonight's race, or comment the name of your favorite driver, and we'll try and keep track of them for the second half of the race. I do want to thank you for tuning in on VSPEED. We're going to take this time to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Renegade Coffee Bar. an awesome pre-workout powder replacement bar made of fair trade Colombian coffee beans. You can save 20% on your purchase of these delicious little bars by using the code Renegade20 at renegadecoffeebar.com. Pace car lights are off. Field is double file now. And pace car makes its way down pit road. Austin Thiel gets him going, and they stack up behind Jamie Christensen. That allows AJ Hamill to slide through, but he gets very sideways into the corner, and Christensen trying to peek back down low, so a little bit of chaos on the start, and that's going to allow Chris Stump to the outside. Josh Bonwell also working up there, and Chris Stump able to pull off that pass up into 5th place. AJ Hamill really superheated those rear tires, and you can see the skid marks on the front straightaway going down into turn 1. We'll see if he's able to keep the handling in that car. Josh Bonwell still trying to work that outside line right now next to Scott Yost, who started on the pole, currently riding in 7th. Josh Bonwell in 8th. Austin Thiel out in front of Chris Samard. They've kind of broken away from Justin McDuff by about a half second. Samard all over the back bumper of Thiel, maybe trying to repay the favor that was given to him earlier. Austin Thiel feeling the pressure though. Also AJ Hamill feeling the pressure as Bonwell still working to the outside, but now under fire from Andy Lambert. Instead of on the offensive, he's on the defensive, trying to hold off a driver as he gets very wide coming out of turn 2. But the battle is on at the front. Chris Samard all over Thiel, who makes a mistake coming out of turn 2. And Samard barely maybe touching the back bumper there. Not sure if he made any contact. See him swinging out a little bit wider, trying to get that better exit, but so limited by that curb down on the inside line. It's very hard to get a run out underneath someone as Thiel slips up a little bit. Samard tags that curb, and they kind of remain where they're at. No one gaining time. Chris Stump trapped behind AJ Hamill right now, and still in 5th position, so not able to make up spots on that restart after Christensen kind of held him up. Battle is on for the lead. Battle is on for 4th and 5th. And a little bit farther back, Scott Yost trying to hold off. Oh, he goes around trying to hold off Josh Bonwell and Andy Lambert. I'm not sure where he is on the track. I don't know if he just, oh, he's trying to spin it around. Very slow down on the inside line. Let's go back and see exactly what happened. Just caught the curb, I think. Oh, he got loose and then caught the curb. Able to hold on to it. And luckily there's no inside wall between the track and pit road. But took him a while to get going again, and he now goes 1 lap down. Out in front, it's Austin Thiel, still over Chris Samard, but those two have not separated much. Justin McDuff is right there, starting to close back in. AJ Hamill real low on the entry, and that's going to cost him the run off the corner. Chris Stump all over the back bumper, swings high. Not able to make it happen going down into turn 1. We're approaching 65 laps in this race. And now the field working their way past the lap car as Justin McDuff peeks down to the inside of Chris Samard, not able to make it happen. Really close, and Samard shutting the door on him. Here comes Chris Stump swinging to the outside once again on his teammate AJ Hamill. Not able to make it happen. I think the only way around tonight is applying the bumper. And these three, the 20, 18, and 98, all teammates running nose to tail. And you know, they really don't want to have to use the bumper. But if they feel like they've got an opportunity to win this race at some point, you know, in these final laps, you never know what could happen. Chris Samard has lost some ground to Austin Thiel. Going to try and make that up. So we are 2/3 of the way through the race. And this final third is where it really counts. And Austin Thiel really putting down some great laps now. Second or third fastest driver on track, but everybody else kind of trapped up in traffic. And Thiel has led 36 laps, so I believe the most, definitely the most of anyone so far. Simard trying to chase him down. Jamie Christensen led 21 laps earlier on. Scott Yost led the first 11 laps of the race, but currently back in 10th position after spinning out. He's 1 lap down. And if you're just tuning in, this is round number 7 of the American Sim Racing Championship from Oxford Plains. 100-lap race tonight. Been a great battle so far for some of these drivers to make their way forward. Passing is coming at a premium here tonight. No tires are allowed to be taken, and they should be able to make it on fuel, so not really any need to take pit stops. As right now, AJ Hamill under serious fire from Chris Stump, but Stump not able to find a way by. And a bit farther back, Jamie Christensen is under pressure from Andy Lambert, who's got a pretty good run going here tonight. He gets right to the back bumper of the 9, not able to carry the speed out of the corner after touching the berm down there. And the top 3 have separated themselves, but about a half second between each of them. And then AJ Hamill, the closest battle, with Chris Stump all over his back bumper. Stump going for 3 wins in a row if he can pull it off tonight. The sun makes its way back out, so that'll affect the grip in the corners. Make their way past Mitchell Rounds once again, who goes 4 laps down. Well out of the way of these drivers, so good racecraft there by the number 53. Definitely an interesting little track, and it's been hard to pass, even harder than many of the races we've seen this season. But still some good battling going on. Andy Lambert right up to the back bumper of Christensen. Dove it in there, and Christensen riding a slightly higher groove. Gets loose into the corner, turn number 1. Allows Lambert to get right back up there. The door is still open. We'll see if Christensen leaves it there for him. He does. Lambert trying to take advantage, get the grip out of the corner, but not able to do it. Christensen still in front of him. Those two are racing hard right now. This is for 6th and 7th. Christensen leaves that door wide open. Here comes Lambert to the inside. Able to sling it down in there on the inside. Maybe a little contact between himself and the number 9, but he makes the pass as we've got Mitchell Rounds off the course once again. He's going to go another lap down. Actually, nope, still 4 laps down. I thought the leaders just passed him, but they did not. Chris Simard trying to close back in. Ran about a 10th and a half faster that time than Austin Thiel, so maybe a little bit of a lack of grip in the 009 as we're approaching the final 20 laps of the race. Simard on the curb, big time there. That's going to cost him. Really dives it down into turn 1, and he has closed back in, but Justin McDuff has not been able to put down the lap times that he needs to close in on those top 2. AJ Hamill still holding off Chris Stump. And we're getting close to go time. So this could be crucial, whatever happens here. Austin Thiel under heavy pressure. Simard all over the back bumper, and Simard already received the bumper from the 009. We'll see if he applies it. He was using it right there, but needs to get him a little bit harder, I think, to knock him out of the way. They both ride the curb. And 77 of Simard all over the 009, really just riding in his tracks. They both catch the curb once again as the 53 off course. And it's coming down to crunch time. Simard closing in. Justin McDuff actually closing in. Currently in 3rd position. About 3/4 of a second back, but those top 2 battling like this. Definitely distracting Thiel and holding up Simard. Allowing that 20 to close in when it needs to. And we'll see if this battle's still going on. Andy Lambert able to pull away a bit from Christensen. Josh Bonwell riding solo out here in 8th position, and Stephen Page currently in 9th, the last driver on the lead lap. 12 to go at the line. Samard right there. Justin McDuff has closed in, now nearly half a second back. And running a bit faster than our 2 leaders. Also Chris Stump running faster than the leaders. So if he can get by, he might have a shot at this. So we're coming to 10 to go next time. It's going to be one of these 3, I'm thinking. But comment down below who you think is going to take the victory here tonight in round number 7. Samard, Thiel, or Justin McDuff. Or is it going to be someone else? Oh, Thiel gets the bumper from Samard. Samard hanging on to it, trying to get underneath. Oh, they make contact! Around goes Thiel, back up into Samard, into McDuff. AJ Hamill, nowhere to go, gets hit head on. Chaos with 10 to go. Austin Thiel not going to be happy about that. Go back and see exactly what happened. And it was coming out of turn 2. Samard gave the bumper to the 009 and then tried to get underneath. Thiel closed the door on him and got turned off the nose, and he did not really lock down the brakes very well. Got into McDuff and Mard, as well as AJ Hamill, who's got heavy nose damage, but takes over 2nd position. So not sure what kind of damage Duff has on his car, just a little bit on that left front. Chris Stump with a clean car in 3rd position. So he's gonna have the cleanest race car out of anyone up here in the top 5. Andy Lambert also with a clean race car. So only 2 clean cars in the top 5. But I'm not sure how much the damage is going to affect these guys. As that was our 2nd caution of the night, so really good racing among the field here. 3 lead changes so far. And we never actually went over the track conditions here tonight. 77-degree air temp and 108-degree track temp. So no wonder it's been so slick. Putting the power down and understeering on the turn entry, so you can blame the sunlight for that. We really have not had much cloud cover throughout the race. And you know, Austin Thiel going to be disappointed as Chris Samard gets his car repaired and now 3 laps down, rolls back out on the track. Looks like Scott Yost letting him by here. Yost gets his lap back. He's currently the last driver on the lead lap in 9th position after starting on the pole here tonight. Pace car lights are off and they're double file. Justin McDuff going to be the one to get him going and on hopefully the final restart. AJ Hamill going to try and time this correctly. He's got nose damage, so it's going to take every ounce of power that that car has to have a shot at this. As McDuff gets going, Chris Stump gets loose on the throttle and able to gather it up. Hamill into the wall. Not sure exactly what happened, if he just spun the tires going up through the gears, but either way, that car slammed head first into the outside wall. We're watching along with the number 18 up there on the outside line just to see what happened as Stump got loose. And the 18 just lost it at the top end of 2nd or 3rd gear there and just couldn't regather it before slamming into that wall. He goes from 2nd to 9th position with heavy damage. We'll see if he tries to get it fixed here at any point. But we do have green-white checkers tonight, and Justin McDuff sitting in a pretty good spot, but Austin Thiel back up into 2nd position. Jamie Christensen, through all of that, moves his way into 3rd, and somehow that number 9 car always finds the top 5 in those closing laps. As Chris Samard gets a lap back, that'll put him 2 laps down now. So craziness here in the final 10 laps of this race, and it's going to shake things up completely, as I believe we're getting our green-white checkered in just a couple laps here. Caution flag is still out. And actually, that's the end of the race, it looks like. That's it. Justin McDuff is your winner. He's already doing burnouts. So congratulations to the number 20 of Justin McDuff, your winner here tonight at Oxford, and his first victory of the season, leading the last 10 laps of the race. We're going to actually cut to commercial break and be right back. I'm sorry we're on the replay screen there for so long, but I'm going to cut to commercial and come back with our driver interviews. All right, we are back. We're going to be bringing our winner up into the booth here. Justin McDuff, this is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy? Good, good. You must have been very surprised by the ending of this one, but you ran pretty strongly throughout the night, moved up into third, and the leaders got together. What are your thoughts on tonight's race?
Ball the car, and I was able to hang on there and get the win.
And hold on, you did. That last restart, we saw Stump spin the tires, AJ Hamill stuff it into the wall. Were you worried about the grip when you had to get going there?
Yeah, I was on the chip from the second I stepped on the gas until I was able to get it in the third gear there on the restart. I probably should have restarted in third or been a little more careful there on the throttle. I saw those guys start wrecking behind me, and I was like, oh, please don't let there be any green-white checkers, because then I was afraid of, another restart and then the potential for it to get wide.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting way to end this, very chaotic, and I thought we were going to get a green-white checkered, and you never know what can happen with those. But you found some speed, chasing down those top two before they ended up getting together. You had been about a second or a little over a second back from them for, I don't know, 20 or 30 laps, and then all of a sudden they start battling, and you were able to get right up to the bumper of Samard. What did it take to pass here tonight? It really looked like it had to use the bumper.
Yeah, you really weren't going to be able to pass a guy if unless they were like way slower than you, unless they made a mistake. It seemed to be, I mean, it's how Oxford usually is, but I think it's even more pronounced with these cars because there's so much more power there compared to like the normal 8 model. You just want to stay right on the bottom and just protect and try to run as smooth as you can and take care of the right front and the right rear tire. And I was more worried about taking care of the right rear, and that's I didn't really get loose. I saw a couple of the guys wiggle a little bit as we were on a couple of those runs there, and I think that might have played in towards the end. I started clicking off some really consistent lap times once I was like a second up on AJ and Chris, and I was behind those guys by about a second, and I started to be able to click off some lap times and reel them back in there at the end.
Yeah, you were definitely closing in, and looked like you were going to potentially have a shot even without those two making contact. But this track is very interesting. There's not a lot of visual markers to know when to turn in and things like that. But obviously you did find that rhythm late on, and we're closing in. So it was a great run by you here tonight. Started mid-pack in 6th. You come away with the win, leading 10 laps. What are your thoughts on next week's event at Gateway?
I actually have never turned a lap at Gateway, so that's going to be interesting, and it's going to be quite the learning experience. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, we expect you to run well. I mean, this is another great finish for you. I think 3rd or 4th top 5 in a row for you here in the series. You came in 6th in points, probably gonna move up at least one spot into the top 5. But Gateway is quite a bit different. It's one of my favorite tracks, so we expect to see you run up front and maybe talk to you again at that point. But before we let you go celebrate tonight's victory, who do you want to give a shout out to?
Well, thanks to you and VSPEED. You do a great job with the broadcast. Thanks to Steve. I think it was a decent turnout. I think we had about a dozen cars tonight. And thanks for all the work he does putting this on. And of course, I got to thank my teammates Chris Stump and AJ Hamill, and Arts Barbershop and Rumar Vinyl Designs for the support in the car.
Well, once again, congratulations, Justin, on the victory here tonight. Way to persevere and then hold them off there in those closing laps. Go celebrate, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. That was our winner here tonight, Justin McDuff, stealing this one away from Austin Thiel and Chris Samard, able to hold off everyone else on the final restart. So congratulations to Justin. We're going to be bringing in our 2nd place finisher, Austin Thiel. This is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Austin, you were the dominant car here for the middle part of the race, leading 58 laps after starting in 5th. You were one of the fastest in practice too, so it was no surprise to see you make your way forward. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown on what happened between you and Chris Samard there, going down into turn number 3?
Oh yeah, I was pulling away from him. I was a second and a half off of him, and then his car started getting tight all of a sudden. I couldn't do nothing about it, so I had to start using brake because I wasn't using brake originally. And then when I started using brake, I started getting slower and slower and slower. And he got to me, gave me the bumper. I thought he was gonna give me the bumper when I gave him the bumper, but I was a little surprised when he spun me.
Yeah, it looked like. I mean, it's such a tight racing groove here. He kind of peaked down low, and it was hard to tell from the angles that we saw. It kind of looked like a block on your part, but also he was very aggressive, putting the nose down in there, and you were able to recover, to 2nd place. And did you think you were going to be able to have a shot if we went green again?
If we had a longer run than that caution at the start, I probably would have got him. But yeah, pretty much I would have just moved him. not my type of thing to do, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and it seemed like that was really the only way by tonight. Most of the passes we saw involved some type of contact or a big mistake on the part of the driver getting past. Did you kind of find that to be true throughout the race tonight?
Yeah, this track's really hard. I came in here at the last minute in practice after 150 laps here in an open set race. I was racing in another league for getting paid, and I won that, and then I was pretty experienced with this track and race.
Did you think the high track temps affected the way the car handled tonight, or did you like how it handled here tonight?
Track temp was perfect. That's what we ran in our other race. I think the only problem was it was just really loose in for the car, and you would have to turn right going in and then just wheel it coming off. But overall, it was a good set.
Yeah, you definitely had speed tonight and had a handle on it. So, a good run to recover there and finish second. We're going to Gateway next week. So, what are your thoughts on going out there?
I actually won't be going to Gateway because I have a race on Wednesday in real life.
Oh, there you go. That's definitely more important, I think. So, but we'll miss you here at the American Sim Racing Championship. But for tonight's race and your second place run, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to you and VSPEED for putting the stream on. I'll always love it. I want to thank Steven for making a great league. I love the people here. I love the competition and stuff. And I want to thank all the people that tuned in and started watching the stream when you started it.
Awesome, Austin. Well, great run here tonight. You led the most laps, so you'll get some points for that, and you come away with a nice, solid second place run. So congratulations, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
So that was our second place finisher, Austin Thiel. We're going to go to third place, Jamie Christensen. We're going to bring him up here in the booth with us. Jamie Christensen, this is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Jamie, did you expect to be standing on the podium at the end of this one?
Not any. No, I didn't.
Yeah, we saw you drop. You were kind of running mid-pack there in the closing laps, and chaos ensued up in the top three. And somehow you seem to always find your way to the front. You've got the top 10 in every single race this season, and this will be your fourth top 5. But I don't know how you do it. You always find your way up here. What were your thoughts on the race overall tonight?
It started out fairly decent. Was able to lead some laps even tonight, so that's good. And we got going there and kind of got in a groove, and let a couple cars by, and then we had that first caution. So, it was pretty good racing there throughout, and it was just monitoring that temperature. The crew chief app that I use is getting updates on the temperature, and we were going from 109 down to 105 or down into the low 100s, and you could kind of tell the difference in how the car handled for the most part. But it was just trying to get into a groove and try to keep the car clean. And the last one came out there at the end, and somebody spun their wheels, and next thing you know, I'm in third, and I'll take it. So.
Yeah, we saw you struggle on an earlier restart, which kind of stacked everybody up, and you lost a bit of ground. But you got a good restart when it counted there on that final one, and basically everybody else made mistakes. So you capitalized nicely there to come away with the top 3. And speaking of track temperature and sliding around and all that, did you find that it really affected the passing ability tonight, or did you find a different way to make passes, or what was your thought on the handling of the car?
The handling was pretty decent, but you can tear that right front up pretty quickly, just overdriving it, and the temperature obviously played into that a little bit. Especially when you wanted to get out below somebody and have it stick. It was pushing a little bit towards the end, but overall it was just managing the tires and what the car gave you. I mean, this track, you can't even put the throttle down all the way for the most part, and so I just took what it gave me, and it gave me third. So
there you go. We're headed to Gateway next week, which is quite a bit different than this little place. But what are your thoughts on going out there?
Gateway is pretty decent. I like it. It's I don't know, pretty straightforward. I think I'm just honestly, I'm trying to points race a little bit, and so I'm just gonna try to keep it clean and try to continue to keep getting those top 10s. Got AJ Hamill and Chris Stump there, right on nipping at my heels. So I gotta just keep at least being around them at the end. So that's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, and I think you'll actually pull away from both of them by quite a few points here tonight, as AJ ended up 9th in the race and Chris Stump finished behind you. So you will maintain the points lead going into next race, so that's got to feel good. But for tonight's third place run, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just want to give a shout out to Steven for putting the league on. Always does a great job. Appreciate being able to come out here and run with these guys. These guys run pretty clean, and really enjoy being out here. But teammates, unofficial teammates, running with them, and always enjoy it. So, but that's about it. And of course, you in the booth. So,
Thank you, sir. Another great run. You find your way up inside the top 5 when it counts, and come away with a nice solid top 3. Go celebrate, and we'll catch up with you soon.
all right, I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you. That was your third place finisher. Jamie Christensen comes in as the points leader, and he will maintain that points lead, if not stretch it out just a little bit over AJ Hamill and Chris Stump, who are nipping at his heels, as he said. But tonight's winner was Justin McDuff. So a great run by him to capitalize on the mistakes of the top 2 in those closing laps. And let's run through the entire finishing order here tonight at Oxford, round number 7 of the American Sim Racing Championship Speed Challenge. Justin McDuff comes out on top after starting in 6th position here tonight, so congratulations once again to Justin. Second place was Austin Thiel after leading the most laps. Jamie Christensen powers his way to 3rd in those closing laps. Chris Stump with a nice solid run in 4th position. Andy Lambert, possibly his best finish of the season, in 5th and rounding out that top 5. Josh Bonwell perseveres through tonight's race, ends up with 6th place. So a good solid run for the number 56. Stephen Page, a very quiet race, ends up in 7th tonight. Scott Yost, after starting up front, finished 8th. AJ Hamill finishes in 9th here, and Chris Samard rounds out the top 10. Mitchell Rounds also started here tonight, finishing last driver on the field in 11th. Stephen Parks did not attempt the start tonight. So that is going to conclude tonight's race. We want to thank you for tuning in here on VSPEED. We were live tonight on Twitch and YouTube, and we are live here each and every Wednesday night with the American Sim Racing Championship. Also on Tuesday nights with the Outlaw Dirt Series, Hoosier UMP Modifieds. So tune in for those. We announce everything on Facebook, so go follow us over there to stay up to date with what we're bringing you. Next week, we're going to be bringing you the Ford Entertainment Group iRacing Flea Market Series on Monday, along with those other 2 series I just mentioned. So if you like tonight's broadcast and you want to stay notified, follow us on Twitch and make sure that notifications are turned on. Also follow us on YouTube by subscribing and turning on notifications. If you like tonight's video, hit like, comment down below. We really appreciate it. It's what helps bring great content to you guys each and every week. I want to thank all our sponsors and American Sim Racing Championship for allowing us to present tonight's race. So that's going to do it for tonight. We'll see you next week at Gateway with the American Sim Racing Championship. Thank you and have a good night.